So I keep seeing adverts for this show From. I've never heard of this show until about 2 weeks ago, but I've just been dissolving in my gamer chair, so I checked the trailer out. It looks pretty good and there's some decent actors I like in here, so I thought I'd give it a try. Obviously, if you haven't seen the show, I will be spoiling it, so you have been warned, but let's jump into it. We open to see a rundown small town. A man is walking through the streets ringing a bell, and something doesn't quite feel right. There's this creepy girl at the diner who we come to learn her name's Sarah, tells all of the guests to head home. They all leave. There seems to be a curfew and some importance to the nighttime here. We see her touching a strange stone that's next to the door frame. The stone has strange markings that almost look like Nordic runes or something. We notice that there's broken down cars with tires slashed. The whole place looks pretty beat here. We learn the man ringing the bell is Boyd, and he is the sheriff of this town.
Megan, listen to your mom.
Okay, Sheriff.
It's strange, the place looks abandoned, but obviously these people all live there. Boyd continues ringing his bell and telling people to go back to their homes. We then cut to a deputy playing chess with his granddad. We come to learn this guy's name is Kenny. A girl walks in wearing an EMT uniform. We come to learn her name's Christy. She tells Kenny's granddad to go to the basement. You would think this is a retirement home, but as they walk outside, we see that this is an elementary school. As I'm watching this, I'm thinking, what is going on here? Everything is overgrown, all the cars are abandoned. As Christy goes back inside, she touches the strange rock thing again. These things are obviously of importance to the story. We cut back to Boyd and he's staring through binoculars at some people outside of a home. Kenny comes to join him and asks him if everything's all clear. Kenny leaves him and he continues to look at the house. We then cut to a post office and Boyd walks inside. You'd assume, again, this would be like a sheriff's department, but no. We see there's one of those workplace posters that says 96 nights without incident. This is very ominous. We see a drunk guy called Frank who's drunk on the floor, and the bartender's asking him to leave, but he doesn't. The bartender then locks the door, and we see again there's another stone dangling next to the door frame. We see a woman and her daughter worrying about the drunk guy, Frank, in the bar. They head off to bed and say a prayer, and the ladies checking the windows are secured. The girl hears an old woman talking to her, telling her that it's her grandma. She goes over to the window and immediately, no way. The girl says that this woman doesn't look like her grandma, but opens the window. Why? Her mother is urging her not to, but I mean, if you're that stupid, this is what you get. This cuts to the intro titles, and I quite like the song, but this goes on for ages. We then see a family driving in an RV. The girl is trying to scare her brother when telling him stories. The mother tells him that there's no such thing as monsters. I wonder where this goes. Why did they fist bump in this scene? This was so weird. The drunk geezer from earlier, Frank, starts to walk home from the bar. He notices there's people gathered outside his house, and as he walks up, Boyd walks out and slaps him for not nailing his windows shut. Very nice. Boyd shows him his wife and daughter ripped apart by whatever the creature was last night, and starts shaming him for doing this. A priest shows up and Boyd leaves, and we see one of these things, except this one's on the floor. This makes me believe this is like a charm or something that wards off those creatures. We go back to the RV family and they spot a tree fallen in the road, and so they have to turn back and go in a different direction. There's some lady who's gardening and Boyd asks her about his son. We assume that he's living here at this big communal house situation. We cut to a dude who I assume is Boyd's son, painting this girl. Tells her she's like a poem.
You're like a poem, you know that? You make everything around you beautiful.
My whole body seized up in cringe when he said that. Jesus Christ. We learn this is Alice and the girl is called Fatima. Boyd tells him about the mum and the daughter dying. He asks him to come to their funeral service, but he seems uneasy about it. You can tell there's definitely conflict between these two. Back with the RV family, they seem lost. The father keeps making bird noises. This guy is fucked. They drive into town and notice there's no phone reception. They notice the broken down cars. There's a funeral happening and the RV pulls up. The people all seem a bit confused about it, but you do get like Wicker Man vibes off of this part. Boyd says,
Shit. You all remember what it was like for you.
the dad gets out and interrupts the funeral. Bit rude. All the people are ignoring him here. I would too, weirdo. This guy's name is Jim, by the way, but he asks Boyd for directions and he gives it to him. Everything seems a bit off, but he gets back in the RV and they drive away. They seem lost while driving around again. The teenage girl calls her brother a baby. He's like 5 years old. But they keep driving in circles and end up back at the town somehow. They ask creepy girl Sarah for directions, but she just ignores them. Sarah is then saying that the roads won't take them or anybody home and that this part is cruel. Still confused driving, they end up returning to the town a third time. This time they reverse and head in the opposite direction. The townsfolk are just watching this happen. Kenny then says to Boyd,
You think they're ready?
Go ahead, get the strip.
the family spot another car on the road. They almost crash into each other. The RV swerves and crashes down into the woods. Just to clear it up, the family's names are Jim, the father, who is awake here, Tabitha, the mother, who's unconscious on the floor, Julie is the girl, and the boy is Ethan. Ethan and Tabitha are both passed out at the moment. Ethan is stuck in place with a large chunk of wood stabbed through his leg. We see the other car they're in the incident with. A man stumbles out and throws up on the road and starts walking. Boyd and Kenny are throwing down a spike strip. This explains all the slashed tires from earlier. The man stumbles over to them and Kenny takes him to the makeshift hospital. Boyd heads off down the road to look for the family. Jim and Julie notice that Ethan is hurt badly. Another man crawls out of the other crashed car. Boyd runs up and handcuffs him to the car door. He's hallucinating and pretty out of it at the moment. Boyd finds the wrecked RV and tells them that others are on the way. Boyd climbs up the RV and opens the door. He climbs inside to check everyone's okay. He confirms that Tabitha's okay, but she's unconscious. He notices Ethan's badly hurt and helps get Julie up. Back in the town, Kenny and Christy pull up to Ellis and ask him to come with them to help. They get to the scene of the accident. They manage to get Tabitha, the mother, out of the RV, and she is a fucking terrible actor. Most of the performances here are pretty okay, but she is just terrible. Jim and Ethan are still inside of the RV. Outside, they're talking about nightfall. Boyd asks Christy if she's able to treat Ethan inside of the RV. He reveals that he has one of the weird stone things and will use this somehow. Christy gets to Ethan inside of the RV. Boyd tells Julie and Tabitha they have to leave before dark. Creepy girl Sarah is being creepy with the man at the hospital. She kisses him, what the hell, and then stabs him in the fucking throat. Okay then. Tabitha and Jim are talking and she's clearly concussed. Again, she's an awful actor. Boyd tells them that the woods aren't safe and she acts like this is confusing. What do you mean? The woods aren't safe means the woods aren't safe. Get to town. Boyd joins Ethan and Christy inside of the RV. He hangs one of the stones over a branch of the broken tree. He explains this will keep the RV safe from those outside. The others driving back to town hit the spike strip from earlier. They get out in a panic and start running for the commie house. Back in the RV, Ethan begins convulsing and Boyd covers the windows. We hear monster-like screams in the woods. Boyd says they are coming and we see pale, dead-looking humans emerging from out the forest. Okay, so the hook and the plot device in this show is excellent. This definitely hooked me in straight away. I saw that this is produced by Jack Bender, who was a producer of Lost for the majority of its runtime. This does have the same J.J. Abrams mystery box feel to it. Hopefully it can land its conclusion when it gets to that. I like the mystery surrounding the town itself, how it appears that these people are trapped there somehow. I like that they haven't just revealed the entire thing. I like the idea of the creatures being humans sort of in disguise, whatever they are. And I can see how they could write a lot into this plot device. The acting is good, really good in places, terrible in some other places. The effects and the gore are pretty good for TV, and the cinematography looks great. I have enjoyed this and I'm definitely looking forward to watching some more.